Today we're tying an egg sucking leech, and I'm using this mustad single salmon hook. And I love tying on these hooks just because the flies always seem to end up so pretty. This is a size 6 and I'm using a 6/0 Chartreuse thread, and I'm just going to attach that to the hook shank. I'm going to take it back just about in line with the barb there. For a rib, I'm going to use this Uni-French. This is medium silver. I like this. It's very durable. Salmon and steelhead have pretty toothy mouths, so this will just help keep our fly together a little bit longer. For the body, I'm using dyed pearl diamond braid, and again in chartreuse color. I'm going to take the body about a little over halfway up the hook shank. I want to leave plenty of room at the top there for the rabbit strip, the hackle, and the egg. Now we're going to use a black dyed rabbit strip here, and I'm going to tie that right at the end of the body of the diamond braid. I'm just going to make sure that's very secure. And I'm going to wrap the Uni-French through the hair here, and I'm going to part it. If you trap some feathers, it's okay because you can go back and you can pick them out. One securing near the butt section, and I'm just going to make about 2 or so wraps up through the body. Now if you want to go back and pick out some of these hairs that were trapped, just use your bodkin to kind of tease those out of there. And it really doesn't matter, it's going to produce regardless, but it might look a little prettier if you do that. Now for measuring the length of our tail, I like to grab the end and lift it over and kind of line it up about where the eye of the hook is. And I do that that'll help you create a little bit of consistency in how long you make your tails. And that way they're all the same. Part hair. Trim. Next I'm going to use a strand of Chartreuse crystal flash. This probably isn't an absolutely necessary step, but I think it just adds a little bit of life to the pattern. Makes it look a little pretty. It's more for our benefit than the fish's. You see I doubled it over, the strand over. I'm going to tie it in just so it's goes right to the tip of that tail. I'll fold the other half over. Secure. And trim. Alright, next I'm going to use a black hackle feather, and this particular one came from a bugger pack. It can come from anywhere, but it doesn't have to be a really high quality feather. And actually I like when it has a lot of that webbing right there because I tie that right into the pattern. And I'm going to tie this or cut this stem right where it just starts to narrow, and that's mainly for the point of making it easier to wrap around a hook. Sometimes the butt sections of those stems can be so stiff that it's hard to get a good turn on them. Okay. And I'm just going to stroke those feathers back each turn here. I'm just doing 4 or 5 turns. That's why I say you can even use a low quality hackle. We're just looking for a little bit of push there, and we're just going to take these feathers, kind of stroke all of the fibers backwards and secure. Make a nice little pad there for our egg. There we go. Now for the egg, I'm using Nylon Chenille, and this is medium size, and fluorescent green, which is basically Chartreuse. Tie in our Chenille. Now to really lock the Chenille in place, I'm going to use some Zap-A-Gap. I'm just going to coat that really well. When you're stripping these, you know, that Chenille can slip if you're not careful, but that Zap-A-Gap really holds it in place. Now I'm going to pull this pretty darn tight. Whip finish and we're done. And there's the Egg Sucking Leech. And I tie these up in a variety of colors. So I'll use a hot pink egg, sometimes an orange, and I'll just change the body color to match the egg that I'm using, and the body color and the flash. I'll even sometimes use purple rabbit instead of the black. I think that's a nice little change up that the salmon and steelhead really go for. And just tie some of these up. This is size 6. Sometimes I'll even tie them in size 8, a little smaller if you need to. But you know, the Egg Sucking Leech is just a classic salmon and steelhead pattern, and it belongs in every salmon and steelhead angler's fly box. Catch you next time.